Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Eno. In today's video, we'll be installing Ubuntu. It's going to be a virtual machine that we'll install on VMware Workstation. The version we're installing is 22.04. Now, the first thing we need to do is actually download this iOS from Ubuntu. So we'll browse here. You can just type on Google, just type Ubuntu download, and then go to the link that takes you to ubuntu.com, and under downloads, if you scroll down, you should see right now we have two options for the latest versions. You have the LTS version, which is long-term support, and then we also have the version 22.10, which has about 1 year support in terms of updates and patches until July of this year, but this one you see has support until 2027. So we'll go with this LTS version. Just click on download. This is about a 3.6 gigs of that's the file size. So it might take a while depending on the speed of your internet. Now, I already downloaded this file, so I'll go ahead and I'll cancel this and close this out since I already have the file downloaded earlier. And this is the file right here. Now, this is the VMware Workstation application, which is our hypervisor that we can use to install virtual machines, so virtual operating systems. I already have a bunch of them here: Kali, CentOS, Fedora, Windows. So to install this Ubuntu machine, we'll click on Create a New Virtual Machine, and then we'll go with the typical as the type of installation. Click on Next. Install from will say I will install it later. Click on Next. This is a Linux machine. The version is going to be, we'll go with Ubuntu 64-bit. We'll click on Next. Here you'll give your virtual machine a name. I'll give mine Ubuntu 22.04. Then this is the location where it's going to install it. I'm just going to leave that as the default. You can change the folder if you want to. Click on Next. The disk size, I'll increase this to 40 GBs. Then I'll use the default, which is split the virtual disk into multiple files. Click on Next. Here it's going to give you the settings for the virtual machine, and you can customize the hardware. We'll customize this. The memory is giving us is 4 GB. Now this is dependent on the size of memory on your host machine. So on my host machine, I'll check how much the maximum I can give it. It's pointing to 32. You can actually check it by right-clicking on the start icon if it's a Windows machine, and then going to System, and then under Device Specifications, you should see the amount of RAM that you have installed. I have 32 GBs. That means I can actually increase the size of memory for my virtual machine. So I'll increase this to 8 GBs here. The processor, you can increase it again depending on how much you can increase yours to. I can take mine to 4. And the other thing we'll need to change here, so it's using NAT. That means it's gonna share the IP with the host machine. I like to use bridged. That way I can connect to this machine from other devices on my network, my home or lab. So I use the bridged network for that. And then we'll point to this under new CD DVD. Let's point to the ISO file that we downloaded. So we'll say use ISO image file. We'll browse to that folder, the location. It's in Documents, Operating Systems, Linux, Ubuntu, and this is the one we want to install. So click on it, click Open, and now it should point to it. For the rest of the settings, we'll leave as the defaults here. We'll click Close, and then here we'll click Finish. Now it should create that virtual machine here on VMware Workstation. Select it, and then we'll click Power on this virtual machine. Now, the option it's giving us in this pop-up window is try or install. So we'll go with that option. So once you press enter, it's going to take a few seconds to start the installation process. Okay, the next window that's going to pop up is going to give you two options. The language, you can select a different language. It defaults to English. So I'll leave it at English, and then you have the option of try Ubuntu and install Ubuntu. I'm gonna go with the install Ubuntu. The keyboard layout, I'm gonna go with English US. Then we'll continue here. Next, it's giving you an option to download updates when it's installing. And then you can install third-party software graphics. We can install that. We'll go with the normal installation here. We'll continue. Now it's saying that it's preparing the Ubuntu drivers. Okay, so it's saying it's giving you a warning that it's gonna erase the disk. But since this is a virtual machine, we're not worried about that. We'll go ahead and install now. Click on continue. It's gonna pick your location based on where it's seeing you're located. It's gonna try to give you a location. It's picking New York for me, which is approximately where I am. So I'll go with that. Click on continue. Now you have to give your computer, you have to put your name and also give your computer a name. I'll change this to just my name here. Let's say Ubuntu. Username, you can pick whatever you want to put, and then you have to put in a password. So this is a virtual machine that I'll be using in my lab, so I don't have to really put a strong password. And then here is asking if you want to require a password for login, we'll go with that default. Now it's gonna copy files and do the installation. This might take a while. So since it's gonna take a while to copy and install, I will pause the video and come back once it's done. So it's still doing the copying of the files. So it's almost done. Now it's done with the copying and it's actually doing the installation. At this point, the installation is complete. It's asking us to restart. Go ahead and do a restart. And now we are at the login screen here. The user is Eno, so we'll put in our password. The first window you will be presented with will be this one here, asking you to connect to your online account. We'll skip this. We'll skip this. We'll also skip this. Next, and click here done. Now our Ubuntu machine is available for us to use. So that's how you install the new version of Ubuntu 22.04. I hope this information has been useful. See you all in my next video. Thanks. Bye.